Welcome to the 2 Hour Track Challenge premiere for June 27th, 2019. Every week I try to find a couple hours to make a song within the time limit of 2 hours. And whatever I have at the end is my song. Sometimes I use it as a starting point, but mostly it's just my chance to experiment with styles that I don't normally get to use in my main project, and also just push myself in the time limit to still make something good and interesting. Sometimes it comes up with cool results, so I like to share it with the world. First in this premiere, this is broadcast live on Twitch, and then I'll start off by playing the song for the first time, and then I'll take a look back at how I made it, and then make up a quick video so that it can be put up on YouTube and listened to alone. So we'll start off with that first listen. Here we go. All right. So that song started off well, kind of in the same area as the last few songs, where I sort of said that the last I'd been doing songs that are just kind of boring, throwing a few instruments together, and essentially they're just sort of a loop with an ending. So this was, again, me trying to branch out in the song structure and make it a little bit more exciting. Also, I was thinking about my electric bass, because I hadn't pulled that out in a while. I hadn't played it, and so I said, you know what, I'll make a song with that. But I actually started off by with the drums. This is from Easy Drummer. There's this really cool preset that I used it a while ago on somewhere this one here, No Concert to Get High on. I'm pretty sure that's the same preset that I used there. Because when you hit anything, it kind of does this delay thing, which sounds really cool. And in No Concert to Get High on, there's I think that I have a few other effects in there. I can't quite remember. But that whole song was kind of inspired by the cool effect of this delay that's built right into this this preset, right? Yeah, so there's the delay there in the mixer. But I started off this one with actually just keeping it very, very sparse. And actually that was it right there. That's kind of how I came up with that rhythm. It's just... where's the full button? I know there's a way to do this, and I can't find it. I'm zoomed in way too far. But yeah, it's essentially just kick, and then another kick shortly before a snare. And just a bunch of that, and what else do I have here? This is a hi-hat, I think. Some cymbal. It's not actually showing on here. So I kept it very sparse just to give that amp delay a little bit of a... that's a hi-hat. Give it some space to make those cool effects, or let those cool effects ring out. And then I also added in a reverb, which is automated. Somewhere. Automated the pre-delay as well as the decay time. And it's just random ups and downs, just to give it a little bit more variation than just that simple rhythm over and over again, because that is just a loop. And at this point, the pre-delay gets a bit high. And the decay time gets a little bit higher as well there. So when I recorded the bass, I kind of kept it as something very simple to just kind of keep it with the same theme of giving space, right? So when we get to the point where where I get the delays or the reverb really high, I think I did a little bit of variation with the bass in there just to give it a little bit more excitement as well at the same time. Yeah, like that extra little tap there, like that. And then the bass just gets really very simple rhythm, just a bunch of 16th notes probably. I'm not going to count that, I don't feel like it. But the drums also, once the song really gets into it, it switches over into Easy Drummer's patterns, which I grabbed from the search and probably use Song Creator, yeah, to find some more that fit in. After this quick little intro thing, which is the same sort of thing as before. Kick, kick, snare, kick, just to start the speed up a little bit. I didn't want to close that. But I built this whole thing, laid it out, so I got a verse, a little pre-chorus, and a chorus, and then a verse, and then a pre-chorus, and then a bridge. Then a verse and a pre-chorus, and then the ending. And this bridge was actually originally just one of these blocks wide. So when I recorded the bass, I kind of recorded it in pieces just to, again, lay out the song before I really get into recording it properly. So I screwed up somewhere and had to stop and start re-recording. But I didn't mind. And that the effects of the amp delay kit sounds pretty cool when you're doing a bit more upbeat thing too. But yeah, I had stopped a few times and restarted recording until I got the thing laid out. And when I was recording the bridge here, the bass is just a single pluck. I think I actually did this with my pick. I can't remember, but I feel like I did this with my pick. But yeah, when I was recording that, it just felt like it needed to go one more time over, so I stopped recording the bass, copied this and moved this all over, and then recorded the ending on the bass line. And then once I was happy with the way the bass line was laid out with the drums, then I could go back and record the whole bass line as a single take, which is this take here. Just sounds better if it's all one take instead of just stitched together. And then, of course, like usual, like usual lately, I added in a little orchestra sort of thing with this is all using a Symphony Series again. And one of the things that I wanted to do here was sort of experiment with, because previously when I'd use this, I just kept sticking to the ensemble, string ensemble, the brass ensemble, and the woodwind ensemble. But then the week before this was when I did an early winter walk in the park, which was completely using solo instruments and really, really controlling the little pieces inside the orchestra rather than the bigger pieces in the orchestra. So I wanted to sort of see if I could again control the little pieces of some of the smaller pieces of the orchestra in this song. So here it's just an ensemble. So that's just the entire string section basically. Is it all the strings? Yeah. So that just does some chords that fit with the bass line. That first note is just telling Contact what to do, what style they should be. But then I got a brass section, which again there's an ensemble just to hold chords, and the woodwind also have an ensemble in the verses that's just the chords. But then when we get to this chorus, probably, yeah, then I started breaking it down into the strings are still going with the full ensemble. The horns kind of take off on their own here. So the horns and the trumpets are just doing chords again. That sounds better. Somehow it was on the wrong thing. Right, okay, so I see what happened there. If we watch this here, this first note here tells it to turn into sustain all mode in articulation. So it's just sustaining all those, just blowing those notes. And then right around here, there's that little note there that switches it to staccato. And that's just so that the ending. These are just a bunch of little blasts instead of trying to sustain those little blasts. It's just a bunch of staccato blasts. So the trumpets and the horns both do that. And then the trombone sort of takes off on its own little melody here. And I have this open for a reason, because I did do a couple little pitch bends, because it is a trombone. I guess it would be more of a slide, I think. But you know what, that was close enough. I'm on a time limit. It's very subtle that it just kind of slides into the next note. So that makes the whole chorus sound like this. And then it goes back into the verse again. And then we get to the bridge, as defined by this. And for the bridge, I used this here. I found in this search. It was called Dance. Actually, this one right here, Bridge 03. Dance 150 BPM, even though this is 120. I threw that in. And that's why this flute solo is called a dance flute solo. But yeah, again, it's the same sort of thing where the strings... Well, actually, there's nothing. The strings cut out. There's nothing in the brass section. And the rest of the woodwind ensemble cuts out. It's just the flute at this point. Just the flute and the drums. And that quick little shot of bass every measure. I forgot the word there. There is also an auto pan on the drum track, which is very, very apparent in that bridge there. Also in the intro, but that's the other place where I really hear the auto pan. Just kind of make it shift from left to right a little bit more. But yeah, and then it's just a bunch of chords until the end. And when I look back at this song, one of the comments that I made the first time I listened to this later, that is a really weird fucking chord that I used at the end. One of the comments I made to myself is that it's kind of like it gets this really cool intro, and then sort of somewhat of a boring verse, and then a cool chorus, and then a boring little verse, and then a cool bridge, and then a boring little verse, and then an odd outro. But I kind of like that being odd, because I'm an odd. So yeah, and then the ending is just, yeah, that. I'll have some automation on the master, which is my normal habit, just to turn down the volume during this last measure, just in case there's still a cymbal ringing out or whatnot. I don't want it to just suddenly cut off. I want it to nicely and quickly fade out, instead of ringing out for ever and ever until the end of time. And I do that in here just because it gets caught up by Vox and Go, which is how y'all are hearing the stream, the music right now. If I automate this like I used to do, that doesn't get picked up by the stream, so it's a little bit weird. It's even when I hear it through these earbuds. That's also going through here, so this misses that. It's just a personal preference there. So yeah, I need a name for this song. And so far I have no ideas, so I'm just going to play the song again and just think really hard as I do so. Yeah, I have no ideas at all here. How about, like, something about reaching? Reaching for the stage. I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it's kind of a neat name. Reaching for the stage. Just for the sake of it being a cool name, I think I like that. And I guess it sort of somewhat fits with the narrative of this, as a narrative for the structure of the song, in a way. Reaching for the stage. It's probably lowercase the. Fuck it. It's capital. Just fuck it. I don't care. That looks weird, lowercase. So I'll apply that there. Let me put that in here. Reaching for the stage. 20. Somehow I hit the same number that was already there. No, wait, I hit an arrow is what I did. June 27th, that's the right date. Yep. Right, so I'll export that. No. Close that. Open the other document that I need to... That thing there. Reaching for the stage. See, now that I do this, I need to type the title 4 times. It's kind of weird. I need a picture of this song. And I'll use this here. Why do you do this? Why do you do this? There we go. Copy. Ooh. Right, export that for 627. I'll close this. Might as well switch this back to my normal setup now. And then I will pull up the script to make a video for this. 627. Put in the date. Oh, 627. Just had to check for a second. It is June, right? Not July. But July 27th hasn't happened yet, so this is what we want. That is not what I want. Cool. So that's going. And I guess I can end the premiere off there then. So I've made 2 art track challenges since then. Well, one of them specifically. So the next one is it's sort of a mix between crunchy drums, orchestral fullness, and a rock section. Bit of a weird one, but yeah, I'm gonna premiere that on July 17th, 2019.